Greetings once again, multiversal soul familia. In this session, it's going to be a little bit more uplifting, determining from several different decks what the collective is being called to be accountable for bringing into fruition in terms of inviting more fun into our orbits. We are going to begin with the mystical shaman to determine the primary energy of this message, a little bit more free form than usual as well. Whatever comes out, comes out. And then when I feel guided to change decks or change things up in any other manner, it will be done. Oops. All right, one more shuffle. All right. Before we go into the cards, we're going to say a quick command prayer per usual. Whenever I break out certain decks, we're also going to light some Palo. O infinite creator, source of all that is, was, and will ever be, we stand in your divine authority, commanding in alignment with your perfect will. By the divine will, we now open our lives to abundant security, stability, and protection. No weapons formed against us shall prosper. Every curse, every evil eye, every ill wish, every ill will, case, cause, concern, confrontation, and conflict dissolves into nothingness by the radiance of your light. We command true prosperity to flow into our lives. Prosperity that nourishes our souls, sustains our bodies, and blesses all who walk with us. Wealth and resources are now aligned to our highest purpose. We command good fortune to follow us in all things. Doors of opportunity open before us effortlessly, and every step we take is guided by divine favor. We call forth true love, divinely ordained, harmonious, and eternal. Our hearts and souls are aligned to receive and give love in its purest, most sacred form. May our paths be illuminated, our spirits fortified, and our lives a testament to the boundless grace of the Creator. So it is, so it is, so it is, and so it shall be. All right, here we go into the mystical shaman for some primary message to determine what we are accountable for bringing into fruition in terms of inviting more fun into our orbits. That is one full pass. We have two cards that came out. The eagle in the upright. And the hummingbird in reverse. So we will have some essence and invitation as well as some medicine as the primary energy with the eagle. With the eagle. Calling us to ascend, to acquire perspective, so we can fly wing to wing with great spirit. Have you lost your sense of purpose? Eagle invites to take a deep breath and spread your wings. When was the last time you opened them? This reminds you your spirit was born to soar to the heavens. Wow. Seeing the smallest detail with clarity without losing track of the bigger picture and nests in the high mountains. Getting back out in nature more. Perhaps going on a hike and packing for a picnic, so there can be an intermission during the hike. Now we're talking just like a day trip, not turning it into a sport necessarily. But you may actually be called to make something of that nature a sport of sorts, to bring more fun into your orbit. Do you want to live in a chicken coop, sheltered from life, counting the regular feedings? Or do you want to soar like an eagle? If it's the latter, accept Eagle's invitation and embrace the courage that will help you choose freedom. I'm hearing spontaneous fun involving nature. It doesn't necessarily have to be a hike. It can be a picnic. It doesn't necessarily have to be a picnic. But we are being called to step more fully out in nature. And it's been placed on my heart that in doing so, where we're accountable for the fun aspect of it, will come to us with clarity. Like birds of the same sky. Let's have a little listen to what the hummingbird in reverse and the medicine has to contribute to this message. Number 26. This mighty being comes to teach you stillness in motion and to trust your inner knowing that the sweetest nectar is assured. Failing to act when the moment is right can spoil your journey. If you feel your safety, comfort, or day-to-day survival are more important than saying yes to the invitation to explore the unknown, you will have to work much harder to achieve what is being offered to you freely now. Still your mind, even in the midst of your very hectic schedule, and heed the gentle voice that calls to you to test new wings. So the hummingbird is also bringing more clarity to the eagle at this time. Wow. So also confirmation on what was placed on my heart in terms of spontaneity and getting out in nature is a meditation. And meditation doesn't have to be boring when it can be absolutely fun. And only you will know what that means and where to be accountable with it. when you answer the call. Be spontaneous. Be courageous in trying something new. Be daring. Spread your wings. Spread your wings. At the bottom of the deck, we have Earth Keeper. So not just getting out in nature, but offering a bit more reverence. However, in terms of reference, nature is full of reference. And so perhaps our reverence will be met with reciprocity in terms of references, golden nuggets of wisdom, equating to fun. 11:11 on the timer. And notice the wings as the Earth Keeper 2 has answered the call to spread their wings. Beautiful. Absolutely stunning. Just as you are involved in creating your world, you are also responsible for its well-being. Earth Keepers are dedicated to the stewardship of the earth and all life. They chose to hold the sacred dream of a planet where all beings live in peace and where the rivers and the air are clean. Remember that everything you do has an impact for 7 generations. A joyful and fun impact is what is being placed on my heart. You have outgrown your small dreams of success and achievement and ready to dream big with possibilities beyond your wildest expectations. Take on the mantle of the Earth Keeper and reach out to a friend in need who you may not have been in touch with for some time. God bless you, Bella. Take care of your pets. Sink with that one. And feed the strays that come by. Clean up your yard, as this is a reflection of your relationship to the earth. Grow the sacred dream, and your personal life will flourish. Remember, it's not about me any longer. So even more so, reconnecting with a meaningful connection and inviting them along for the flight into nature. Make it a surprise, make it spontaneous, but also with those elements of the new, while also bestowing reverence for our beloved planet and one another. And in terms of the fun, what you put in will be multiplied. It will be multiplied as all 3 of these cards have a set of wings. Triple in 3s. References in reciprocity to that reverence. Shareable references. teachable moments. And I'm hearing possibly even the invitation to connect with a new spirit guide. And it could be elemental, it could be human, it could be an animal. It could be a tree, a rock. Just leave the rest of the crystals in the ground, beloveds. All right, we're now going to go into the Wild Unknown Archetypes Pocket Edition to determine an archetype pertaining to the spirit guide, or just the spirit that we envelop within ourselves, which is all one nevertheless. To really consider wrapping our hearts around during this time of being accountable for inviting fun into our orbit. Ooh, we have the medallion. Wow. Wow. From what I can see here, the fun has already begun. Yes. This is a tool. The medallion. Imagine if you and your family, school, or social group had a crest, emblem, or amulet. What would it be? And create it. It says draw it, but it was placed on my heart to say create it. It could even be something that you can create, your own little masterpiece derived from nature is what was just placed on my heart. Like using like different grasses and sticks and other parts of nature to create art. It's also reaffirming what I was saying about honoring. And in this case, honoring nature, honoring this planet, honoring our creature teachers, our plant teachers. Something that is going to be derived from nature and, of course, your own heart, your love, that is meant to be given away in reverence to another. A token of appreciation. A talisman of good fortune and protection even. Treasures that will also bring that spark of fun back into someone or something else's life. Their existence, their now. Mementos. Some of great material value, but then there's those others that hold emotional resonance, and still others with both. When these gifts are bestowed upon us, it's important to recognize that they may bind us to an unspoken agreement or promise. Materials hold consciousness. And we're being guided to reconcile with the vibration of the objects around us, be it still very much so planted in nature. Or even, again, you can create art from the offerings of nature through their own shedding. Perhaps there is something that we as the collective can shed upon others and shed upon nature. Much like this medallion is shedding light into the darkness. It's within our reach. It's right there in front of us, right before our eyes. The answer is right in front of our faces, to a degree, a high degree, a rewarding degree. Perhaps it's time to reach for the medallion that aligns with your deepest values, which will also in turn increase by 3s, because there are 3 sets of wings here on the table. Triple for your troubles, but we're not speaking on troubles. But it's definitely more double the fun. Double the fun. Triple the fun. And it has been placed on my heart to bring in at least one more archetype for this message, beginning with the environment already bestowed. What we already have to work with in our orbit is ourselves. Becoming more and more polished as we grow, more vibrant. Equally so. Bars. Yes. Let's talk about it. You. Sometimes all you need to create a rewarding environment, a fun and rewarding environment, is to just shine like only you can. Ooh, right behind that we have the gem. This is going to be card number 3. We're doing 3. The crowning gem, I just heard. The crowning gem. The self. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Oh, of course I'm not getting all of them in frame. Oh well, we got this. Ah, yes, in terms of the self, accepting new aspects of oneself will also increase that ability in others. You are the gem. You are the star. Your love and light. And we don't mean love, light, and clueless. Your love and light is rewarding. Beautiful. Asking yourself, am I the stew or am I the chef? The self is the central abiding container the awareness of the infinite universe of possibilities. Step back in to witness consciousness, to observe yourself navigating the world. In most situations, our ego draws us into the cauldron where we swirl, spin, and smolder in chaos. Yet the self is a graceful culinary dancer, watching, waiting, observing as the spectrum of ingredients become the flavor of our life. Look in the mirror for 30 seconds or more. Attempt to see the you behind the you. And furthermore, beloveds, come out of those caverns and introduce you to nature, is what has just been placed on my heart. It is no surprise that the two central mantras in the yoga tradition concern themselves with the self-experiment with Soham, I am that, and Satnam, true identity. In terms of the gem, yet another tool. Uniqueness is irreplaceable, generative, and unique. Now remember, this does not mean that it equates to being better or more superior or more valid than others. Also known as the jewel, the star, the talent, the gift, the gold. One thing for certain is that it's found deep within a substance that is very much unlike it. For example, a diamond in the rough. You are the diamond in the rough. And there's something about your tone that really rings true. Precious stones developing slowly deep in the earth amid pressure and darkness. The gem always stands in contrast to its surroundings. You can't find it when you are amongst comforts and pleasantries. Your gem, like your destiny, is unlike any other in the entire world. Keep digging. The moments of your life that glimmer are clues to where the gem resides. Don't covet the sparkling diamond of another. The gem is like a fingerprint, never to be repeated again. Find yours. The daemon, or inner light, that leads us towards our true self, our purpose, our destiny. All right. Now we're going to go into the Kippur to start going into some closing messages here in terms of insights, resources, or teachable moments we can bring into the orbit in order to be accountable for inviting more fun. Inviting more fun. Okay, the first card out is the courthouse in reverse. Interesting. Hmm. This is an agreement or negotiation that is going to work out in the favor of the collective. Something reflecting decisions, discoveries, and assessments. Undergoing a test of some kind. Bringing good news about certain matters that you may have been dealing with on a more personal level. Not necessarily highly official, but just matters that you may have been dealing with that are going to work out in your favor as you embrace the new. Get yourself out in nature more. Be bold and courageous. And spread your wings. And this time, you're not being required to do it alone, as you are also being called to share this experience with others in order to expand on that fun. Mature woman in reverse. How to interpret that in terms of fun. Sometimes being a bit more immature to a degree. I'm hearing letting go of any concern about how graceful that you appear out in nature. Yes. Handing your authority over to the experience, I just heard. Being guided to go meddle around in nature. This could also be someone you're being called to connect with who is younger than you are. Someone who could be a guide themselves, but is younger than you, with the mature woman being in reverse. A little something that you can learn from someone who may not be of your seniority, which, as far as I'm concerned, boomer schematics like that need to be tossed out with the bathwater anyways. If you're an older person and you have the attitude that there isn't much that you can learn from someone younger than you, it may actually be stifling your ability to enjoy nature and also be accountable for inviting more fun into the experiences. But if you're willing to learn through other modalities. You would be surprised how more refined and rewarding the experiences could be. Someone who will listen to your concerns, possibly even offering aid and advice. Let's bring in one more card from the Kipper, just one. Just one. Whatever the experience is, it's going to result in a highly sacred union. Beloveds, this is what's being placed on my heart at this time, especially with the number 3 and how I've been adamant to sticking to 3 cards per deck without even understanding why I was being called to do so. Because there's something significant about it and leading to recognizing a new to us guide of some kind that is going to be above and beyond the mundane. Not necessarily a formal marriage, a refining and rewarding sacred union, nevertheless. Beautiful. And the cherry blossoms are back. So my last long session also brought up the cherry and the dove. Representing sacred unions. Interesting. It's about that time that we enter into more new relationships, be it a relationship that we haven't come across yet in nature or with another person out in nature. Nonetheless, it's going to be an intimate connection, be it a friendship or any other form of partnership. And it's going to start out as a private experience. And the more resources that you gain from the experience, the closer you will get to the ability to share on a more broad perspective and level from that eagle eye view. Being supported by that energy of the hummingbird beneath. Something about making power moves even in the stillness. With a higher perspective of the eagle. The cherry blossoms, suggesting either a spring wedding or an increase in desire of some kind. Keeping it clean, beloveds. Something fresh. Something that will also be highly influential. As something about connections during the spring have somehow become that monumental medallion the refinement and the reward. Supporting all the facets of the gem. And the gem is you. The gem is you. In terms of being accountable for inviting more fun into the orbit, you are going to have to be the initiator. Again, it's going to be a surprise. It's going to be spontaneous. You are going to be the initiator of this sacred union. And there's something about not really being too pressed on the details any further of what exactly that fun is, because the fun aspect is going to be uniquely refined by you, but also rewarding within the union. That's, I'm hearing, going to benefit and reward no less than 3. No less than 3. And now we're going to draw this message to a close with some insights from the Tarot of the Divine. Closing insights for being accountable in bringing into fruition more fun into the orbit of the collective. Oh, that pushed a card up, so we're just going to pull that right out. Okay, and it's good that I grabbed the feather, because we're going to have to cover this beautiful lady. The Queen of Coins. Queen of Coins. This is also the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Diamonds. The Queen of Diamonds. Beautiful. Healing. Being more grounded. Being the organizer. Ready to bring in the richness of the spontaneity, but also the richness of the surprise, the richness of the newness of the experiences. Taking time for movement and that message of being in stillness. Either way, in meditation. Being the manipulator to a degree, yes, but it's like, think of it as like manipulating clay to soften it a bit before you work it into some kind of pottery or sculpture or figurine. Making it fun. Making it enjoyable for all involved, but also bringing more into the orbit in terms of fun, expanding on it and growing from it without any concern of equal reciprocity. You are that gem of reciprocity, that queen of coins. As well as it being mentioned that you are also the Earth Keeper, the Self, of course, and the Medallion. Refining and rewarding, refining and rewarding. Sacred unions. All right, now let's go back into Tarot of the Divine for another message. More insight to draw these messages here in this session to a close. One, please. And it pushed this one card out of the deck, so this is what we're going to grab. The Nine of Swords. Acceptance. Becoming more obsessed with the fun. But also having the ability to be a decision maker, even under high pressure circumstances. So if you can handle decision making under high pressure circumstances, then you should do just fine and being that diamond in the rough under a lot less pressure. Not allowing fears of the unknown and the spontaneity that is now being placed on my heart as what's going to turn out to be a surprise for all involved. But you, as the initiator of the initial element of surprise, you will also be surprised with the turnout. That multifaceted, refining, rewarding turnout. One more card, and we are bringing this to a close with this card. And I want to thank you so very much for tuning in. If you made it this far, you are a rock star. One more. And here we have it. The King of Cups. In terms of insight, in being the cultivator of the fun, inviting it into the orbit. Beautiful. Something tells me that this King of Cups energy may very well be the perfect in terms of situational leadership here. Beautiful, generous, loyal, faithful, wise, and generous energy. But also patient. And this is where, when I was saying earlier in the message, that although this is a mature woman in reverse, it can be a mature anybody. Not necessarily just a woman. Energy does not acknowledge that. What's being shown here, based on my prior message, is to be willing to be more childlike in the experience, but also be willing to embrace any resources, any refinement, and anything that can be rewarding from someone younger than you. Someone who can also impart wisdom within the experience that may come as a surprise to you. Not as though you were like underestimating anyone, but think of it in a fun interpretation. That fun element of surprise. Embracing that child self. That child self fragment of the whole. Going deeper into the abyss even. Being more bold. Being more adventurous. Kind, but also fiercely protective of the ones we love. And that is the message. Once you answer the call, the details and the clarity will roll in even more for you. And it will be unique to you and your experiences. Thank you so very much, once again. With much gratitude and appreciation. From my heart chakra to yours, brightest of blessings.